What's up, everybody? Welcome to TotallyAFan. I am your host, Taffy. Today, we have an amazing episode. This is TotallyAFan, the show where we go everything in the world of fandom. We got movies, comics, TV, video games, your fandom fanfare right here. With me today, Mr. Richard Port.
What's going on, Victor, man? What's happening?
What's good, homie? This guy is an amazing comedian, freaking hilarious. He is the host of the Kickback and Chillax podcast, and you describe yourself as a comedic weirdo, and fucking love that. I think that's a great title. And so, yes, he's going to be our guest for today, ladies and gentlemen. And before we get started, as per tradition, when it comes with having new guests, one of the things that I love to do is to ask you, what is it about fandom? Like, what is it about it that attracts you? Like, where do you come from when it comes to fandom?
I say from fandom, no matter whatever the show or the topic is, I think it's all about the lore. Something about
He's a world builder guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lore, character building. I think that's what gets me intrigued. Like, there's more behind the story here. I want to find out. I think that's the number one thing I have to say about fandom. That's the lore.
That's awesome, dude. I say it all the time on stream, and like when it comes to like talking to people about like nerd stuff, is fandom or world building and lore and stuff like that. I love that stuff, man. That I go bonkers for that shit, and that's how I end up getting like really involved in learning about like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. You know, there's generations of characters, of stories that are being told that may or may not affect somebody 20 years, 30, 50, 100 years down the line. You know, I love that stuff, man. That's awesome, dude. Hell yeah. All right, great. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of Kickbacks and Chillax. Please make sure that you guys are going to check out that podcast. Where can people listen to it?
You can actually, if you have Spotify or any type of streaming service, you can just type in Kickback and Chillax, and it will pop up and available on most streaming services.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, so definitely please make sure you guys do that. Go show my boy some love. Greatly appreciate it. But today, we have quite a bit of news, so we're going to go ahead and jump in on this mess here. So Sony, keep in mind, Sony did this. They just confirmed that Aaron Taylor Johnson, you may know him as Quicksilver, you may know him as Kick-Ass. He is coming to the Spider-Man universe, to the MCU, as Kraven the Hunter. Now, this is crazy because he played Quicksilver, so for him to play another character, that's interesting. However, there's more to it than that. Sony stated that he is going to have his own solo movie in addition to potentially being in the fucking MCU Spider-Man movie. But wait, there's more. In addition to that, Sony also, they didn't confirm, but they teased it that the connection or the bridge between the MCU Spider-Man and the rest of the movieverse could potentially be connected on No Way Home. Now, they didn't really get into too many specifics about that, but there is more. Collider was recently in an interview. Now, keep in mind, a couple episodes ago, I warned you guys about taking rumor reports and things like that with a grain of salt, especially to make sure that you guys are checking your sources. However, with this being Collider's been pretty accurate. Collider has a really good reputation of, if they do have a rumor, they'll leak it, but they're really into the nerd shit. I believe they have insiders. They have people that are here, but the latest rumor report that we got, I don't have the transition for it. Damn, fuck that up. The latest rumor is that William Dafoe is coming as the Green Goblin. But wait, there's more. Rumor also suggests that they're going to be doing a Sinister Six tie-in with No Way Home, and then potentially have their own movie. Now, we know Sony's been wanting to do that forever, since Tobey Maguire days. And even with Andrew Garfield, they teased it more, and they were getting closer to it. So with this new quote-unquote tie-in rumor, speculation is that I forgot the guy's name, but the guy that played Sandman in the Spider-Man movie will also be coming here to the MCU, potentially as the Sinister Six. Look, man, I just unloaded a whole mess of information. Richard, what do you got?
Bro, um, I think this is all gonna tie in to when Doctor Strange pops up back on the sequel. This all has to
Mm.
do with Doctor Strange because he travels through parallel universe, and with
Hmm.
Sony and the MCU, those are all counted as like their own world.
Hmm.
So the only way to make this make sense where they can all collide or become one or travel from one to another. So Doctor Strange, I'm not sure if that movie's coming before or after Spider-Man, but I feel like the answers will be there in terms of like parallel universes and stuff like that. And from the rumors that we heard, I think Doctor Strange is key to making all this happen.
Yeah. Now, there's been all kinds of speculation from like way back from when they've confirmed casting of Doctor Strange in Spider-Man. His whole casting, or his rumored casting in WandaVision, the situation of WandaVision being based on the House of M, um, the rumored casting of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, all the different rumors have led fans, including us here in the fan cave, led us to believe that there is going to be some huge multiversal event that's going to take place across WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, and potentially into the Spider-Verse 2. We saw it in Far From Home, the concept of a multiverse being possible. When Peter meets Mysterio for the first time, he's like, "Oh wait, you're from you just proven there's a multiverse." In the events of Endgame, when the Ancient One is telling Bruce Banner about removing the stones and creates new timelines, the situation with Loki and in his show that premieres, I believe, next Wednesday, not Friday,
Yes.
Wednesday, how that's going to spring out new alternate timelines, and those alternate timelines are the multiverse essentially. So again, with a grain of salt, and Collider has even said take it with a grain of salt. If William Defoe, if Sandman, if all those come into this movie, I think that would be huge. Now, it doesn't mean that Sony or Marvel is going to, nor are they supposed to, make another movie down the road with Andrew Garfield or with Tobey Maguire. They don't have to make a sequel. They're probably not going to, but doing it for this movie would be like a nice like hat tip or send off to these characters, and it would just be like a cool, like a little bit more than a cameo, but it would be like a cool thing to do. Now we do know that Andrew Garfield, he stated that he has nothing to do with the movie. Emma Stone actually recently came out and she said that she also had never gotten a call about the movie. So whether or not Toby and Andrew are coming in, I think it's very possible that it could be the villains that come in. Also, too, as a reminder, Morbius is connected to the MCU Spider Verse because he's going to meet up with Toomes, who plays Vulture in the original Spider-Man: Homecoming. There's a scene in the trailer, so it's confirmed. So there's just all these different things that are going on, and a lot of it is rumored and speculation. But it would be crazy if it happens because I think it would be, again, they're not entitled to make, or rather, they don't have to make a whole universe or whatever based on this moment. They could continue to make new movies with new characters and things like that. They don't have to bring these people back in future movies or future projects, but to have it in one big episode or one big movie, I think would be huge. It'd be tons of fun at the very least. So I'm excited. But the problem is that it's all rumors right now, and there's a lot like left in the air.
I mean, yeah, they are rumors, not confirmed, but I feel like if you ask those actors, are they going to be in the movie, and they say no, I'm sure they're lying. Because they're not going to tell you like, yeah, yeah, they're not going to admit it.
Yeah.
I'm sure like Marvel got to keep it sealed. They're not going to say anything. They're not going to let the cat out of the bag until you see the movie. But as you mentioned, I think there's a higher chance of seeing the villains, but I
Hmm.
have I have a slim chance of saying that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire might pop up because it's almost like a uh, it's almost like a kudos to the predecessor,
Yeah.
like saying like, "Hey, we didn't forget about you, or
Yeah.
we didn't erase you from the history. We're including you to say almost like a thank you
Yeah.
for paving the way, but you also exist, and then tying it all in with the multiverse. I think like if they do it right, even though like we hear all these rumors with a grain of salt,
Hmm.
just say it happens and you watch it in the theater. I think I'll still be blown away. I think it'll be like Avengers level type movie just for a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
Like with all that cast, I think it'll be up there in my opinion.
It would be a fantastic passing of the torch, similar to like what we saw in the Dark Knight trilogy when Batman gives the Batcave to Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character. I think it'd be something like that, like a nice passing of the torch, and I think it would be so sick if we get it, and we can speculate all we want, and we can't confirm anything until we see it. But I think, like you, if they say no, what's the likelihood that you lying? Like, it's pretty high,
Exactly.
because you're
Exactly.
contractually obligated to say no,
Mhm.
unless you say yes. Then then holy shit. But
Nah, I do have. I'm holding out faith again with a grain of salt, but I just feel like Andrew Garfield deserved the third movie.
yeah, I agree.
And I think this is the platform for him to like show that he can still be a good Spider-Man. Like he was great. Like when he
Hmm.
first came out, first and second with was it Emma Stone?
Hmm.
Emma Stone. It was awesome. I was waiting for a trilogy. So
Yeah.
when they like did the whole like retcon, it's like, hey, Spider-Man's coming to MCU and Marvel. I was a little mad at first, and I'm like, man, who's this kid? Like, no,
Yeah.
we just had Andrew Garfield. What you doing?
Yeah.
And then Tom Holland came correct. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like MCU. He's an MCU Spider Man. He got it. I give it to him. I didn't know he was English at first. He came correct with that
Yeah.
New York accent. And then now with this rumor, we're like, we could bring all the Spider Man, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire back. Take my money.
Yeah.
Take my money. Take
Yeah.
it.
No, I'm right there with you, bro. All right, so let's move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
So huge news from Sega, including a couple rumors here. But the 30th anniversary of Sonic is fast approaching, and E3 is also right around the corner. Sega has confirmed that we are going to get a collection series, including or rather, it's going to be called Sonic Origin, and it's going to include the original Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic Spinball, and I've read somewhere, but I can't confirm if Sonic CD will also be featured on this collection set. But I think that's awesome. Now, additionally, too, they kind of hinted and teased that their new 3D game that's in the works. They really teased more so in like, hey, we're working on something new, something brand new that's going to be in a 3D world. So we don't have a lot of pictures, we don't have a lot of information on it, just the literal words out of the mouth that we're getting something new. But the cool thing is that the voice actor is coming back. The original voice actor, and I forgot his name, so I'm gonna have to look that up real quick. Sonic voice actor, my little mechanical keyboard. Um, So Roger Craig Smith, he's confirming that he is coming back for the games, which was weird because months ago he stated that whatever was happening with Sega, that he basically confirmed a departure. Now he's done other voice acting as well for other video games, but he tweeted that he was coming back officially. So I don't know how permanent it is. The whole thing came because they got the Sonic actor for the movie was different from Roger Craig Smith. So the fact that we're getting all of this Sonic news on the 30th anniversary, I think is going to be huge. I'm really excited. Richard, what you got, man?
I was gonna ask you what platform is this coming out? Is this on the
I
Switch?
think it's next gen. Or I
Oh,
know, sorry, I think it's Switch.
it's a Switch.
Yeah, I'll confirm
Okay.
it, but I'm pretty sure it's Switch.
Okay, so 30th anniversary, so it's like a bundle pack, so all of the classic games. Are they redoing it to where it's clear, like for like 4K, or is it like the classic look? It's like you played like how are they gonna go about that?
I'm gonna read that real quick. They're saying that it's gonna be released in 2022. They announced it during a Sonic like a Sonic specific live stream. We'll probably get more information at E3 if we don't have anything now. I'm pretty sure they're going to do some sort of an update as far as graphics goes, but they're probably not going to go too crazy with it because they want to have it more classic because they are working on a new game that's going to be 3D. It's going to be updated visuals. I believe it's only for Switch, just because of Sega's partnership with Nintendo. Uh,
Right.
but if they want to for the retro collection, it's possible it could come out for every other system. But the new game for
Okay.
sure will be out for the Switch.
Nice. So is that two separate thing where like they have the bundle of the classic games and then the new game, or the new game coming with the classic?
No, I think it's gonna be separate. Although, like, if you go buy it at stores, it could be like a bundle. I don't.
Okay.
We don't have information on that yet. We just know what's coming. We just don't know how it's coming.
Okay. Nah, I'm pretty excited because earlier you said Sega CD. I had flashbacks. I
Yeah.
remember Sega CD. Like that was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Like Sega CD. Like that was like before, maybe like before PlayStation.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
before PlayStation. That's funny though, because
Dang.
I just got a flashback because like I had a bootleg Sega CD from for you youngins out there, you ain't gonna know what this is, but JVC was prominent in the VHS world.
Ooh.
When they had their own spin-off Sega, like Sega Genesis, Sega CD, like combo in one piece. And
Yes.
my dad bought like my dad originally bought a Sega, but then returned it because he thought Sega CD was like the newest version. But then returned the CD because he found out that there was a 2-in-1 with the JVC, so he bought us that shit. It had this ugly
I,
ass teal button and purple. This shit is so funny, dude. Oh
wow. I
man,
had to
fucking
pull it up.
memories.
Is it the one I'm looking at now? Is it like the one that's side by side?
Yeah,
Looks like
probably.
a. Oh man.
Yeah. Yo, guys. And it's funny
Classic.
because right before we started the podcast, fucking Richard and I, we started talking about like, the old days and like an old memory that I cherished a lot. And it just reminds me of this, dude. It's so funny.
Sega CD. Oh my god. Yo. Yeah, when you said it earlier, I was like, I
Yeah.
got teleported back. I was like, yo. I was like, are they gonna know what Sega CD is? Like, you just threw one. You just threw one out there, and I remember I was like, yo, I'm old. Like to remember Sega CD because it was like a, it came and went. Like it was like a. You remember Neo Geo?
Yeah.
It was like a Neo Geo. Like it was good. It came and it just went.
It just
That was
went, yeah.
Sega CD. Yeah,
Yeah.
because we knew about Sega Genesis and stuff, but like only the real gamers. You say Sega CD, you're like, oh man, I
Yeah.
wonder what happened to my Sega CD. You know?
I remember too, like Sega specifically having a couple different setups. Like you can buy a Genesis with like a attachment that goes right on top. Like you basically insert it into the cartridge, but it would be like a kind of like a Walkman, or it would be like the CD would be in the front, and then in the back would be the CD portion, or you would have a Sega on your left, a CD thing on your right, and then it sits on top of a platform. And I remember as I got older, I was like, yo, why did they have so many combinations? Why didn't you just make one system that does both, like what the JVC did, but have it officially licensed as a Sega product? I never understood it, but I just thought it was so funny though. It just I like Sega CD or Sonic CD. There were a couple other CD games that were really fun too. But again, it's rumored if it's going to be on this collection because I'd have to ask one of our Sega guys, like Jesse or somebody. But I think Sonic CD wasn't well received.
Okay.
I think I have to double check that. So I don't know if because of that, if it's not going to be on this collection. But we know for sure that the original Genesis games 1, 2, and 3, Sonic and Knuckles and Spinball, will be on this collection set.
Oh man, I can't wait because it was one of my favorites. I rate Sonic games like Sonic music soundtrack like
Oh,
up there, like in
yeah,
my like top tier
yeah.
like Super Nintendo, Sega music,
Mm-hmm.
like games with good music. Sonic is up there because
Hell
it's
yeah.
so memorable. Like you get automatically hyped. Like you'd be in a mid conversation or something. Yeah, I'm about to get that new Toyota Camry, and then you hear ba 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 da ba 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 da ba. You're like, oh, whoa,
Oh
whoa, hold up
shit.
now. You playing level one? Like you get hyped.
Yo, I
So I
got next. I got next,
yeah,
dog.
yeah, I got next. I got you. Let me defeat this level for you. Like hands down. I think that was Sonic 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Top tier music soundtrack. Uh, to compete with that, kind of veering off, Donkey Kong Country had
Oof.
pretty good music too. So
Oof.
just throwing it out there.
Real quick on this segue here. I don't know if you know, but they somebody reported that there potentially is a new Donkey Kong game in the works for Switch that's going to be
Uh-huh.
featured that side scroller like Donkey Kong Country, but they're not going to call it Donkey Kong Country because they don't want to continue that series of games. But if it is true that we are getting a new DK game, dude, I want that soundtrack to be fire, dude. I need that soundtrack to be fire.
It was great. I mean, the classic NES, the first one with the grandpa in the beginning, was it? Do,
Yeah.
do, 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 and then it became like hip hop, and I was like, "What? What's
Yeah.
going on here?" Like as a kid,
The
I like
fucking bongo
appreciated
drums
it.
and shit. It's just, oh yeah,
Oh
dude. The
yeah,
beats
it was that
dropping,
Donkey Kong.
yeah.
Oh, I was like, "Oh my god!" So if they do bring it back and maybe update it with some like, make it still like the classic NES style, but maybe modernize it. I don't know, throw J Cole or something in there. I'll be fine with. I'll be fine. Just make it good. But no, I'm pretty excited for that too, man. God, like nostalgia, but modern twists is
Yeah.
what I'm in for too. Like you could bring something back, but make sure you don't mess up the classic. You can like add to it, but also like what's the word? Like keep the nostalgia, but add on to it versus like redoing it and messing it up. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Okay,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
totally
okay.
agree. Yeah, I think they'll find a great way to do it. But yeah, so that's the news for Sonic, and we're really excited. Obviously, as you can tell from the nostalgia point of view. But we'll have more information as it comes out. I do believe. Well, I didn't hear it anywhere, but I think Sega was slated to come out for E3, so it's possible we can get more information by then. We don't know, but we'll report it as it comes through. So be on the lookout for that if you're excited about Sonic. All right, last topic for the day. So we reported a while ago that the Powerpuff Girls was going to get to the CW, and it was going to be called Powerpuff. We also have pictures. I think I posted it on our Facebook and on our Twitter. Pictures of the girls in their like OG costumes, and just to remind you guys, I stated that I think those costumes are going to be like them suiting back up, but then them realizing that they need to get into something a little bit more modern because they're older, they're adults now, and they have adult issues that they have to go through. So other pictures show them in more like adult themed costumes, but still color coded. So that pilot came and apparently it went, and now it looks like CW is making a decision to reorder that pilot. Now, couple different people were reporting that it has something to do with like SJW themes, that maybe it just wasn't on point. A couple other people were saying that it doesn't stay true to the original cartoons, but this is coming straight from Mark Pedowitz, the CEO and chairman of the CW. He stated, in this case, the pilot didn't work, quote. But because we see there's enough elements in there, we want to give it another shot. So that's why we didn't want to go forward with what we had. Tonally, it might have felt a little too campy. It didn't feel as rooted in reality as it might have felt. But again, you learn things when you test things out. And so in this case, we felt let's take a step back and go back to the drawing board. Now, as a reminder, the show originally aired on Cartoon Network, and it was I don't know if you can call it a girl show because I know a lot of guys that fucking loved it. It was a bunch of like children superheroes who just fighting bad guys and all kinds of stuff, and it was fun. But when the show came out, a lot of people had their worries and their fears that it wasn't going to be that it was going to be too formulaic like the Arrowverses. That's actually a fear that I have with it. But with it being adults, the premise was that the Powerpuff Girls have gone their own ways, but they're coming back together and they're trying to battle through their meaning, right? Like, what's the purpose? We're superheroes, but we're adults. We have our own stuff we have to deal with. But how do we come together as a team and try to save the day? Save the city of Townsville again. With those themes, you definitely get huge like Arrowverse, vibes out of it. But Arrowverse isn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I love the Arrowverse. I love Arrow. I love Flash. I love the other shows. But that formulaic structure to the episode was something I didn't want for Powerpuff Girls. And how rooted in reality do they want to go? That's what's really up for debate, and that's why, according to them, that's why they're doing another show. So, Richard, man, what's up? What's good?
So I was gonna ask you, is this gonna be like a? Are they considering this a true canon to the cartoon?
I don't know, just because I think it's going to be kind of like the Archie or like Riverdale, where it's not necessarily canonical to what's going on in the comics, but it's almost like a reimagining or a new take. I think I think if Powerpuff Girls, if a live action of Powerpuff Girls was going to be on Cartoon Network, I would feel more inclined to say yes, it will be canon, versus it being on CW. So I can't confirm that yet. I'll let you know though. I'll look into it and find out.
Okay. Did they like release like a trailer or a pilot? I didn't see
No,
that, but okay. So
yeah,
it's
so
all
usually when a production company, when they when they film a pilot, the pilot just goes straight to executive heads, and they decide whether they want to greenlit it or not. Then they might go back and either do reshoots or clean up some special effects and stuff like that, and then they'll release it as the first episode of the season.
okay.
Unless they make
Cause
like
I
bigger changes and they like recast people, then it'll be a whole new episode. But it'll usually that's what happens.
Okay, because like based on what was out there, based on the pilot, like not the pilot not working, they have to rework it. What do you think is why do you think it had to be reworked? Was it because it's not true to the original? Like, are they trying to tie it down more to like real, like the CW world style, like what you said, like Riverdale, or were they trying to like go more for like a cartoonish feel? Like in my mind, I thought it would do well more of like a Scott Pilgrim versus the World
Mm-hmm.
type style versus like a Riverdale, like, oh, we're grown up now, but we still fight. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I see
Yeah.
more of like a, yeah, let's go. Like, let's remember the time when we, like, that's what I thought more of like that animated, like exaggerated Scott Pilgrim style. Like, how did you see it if they were to like greenlight
So
it?
because it's on the on the Green Arrow, because it's on the CW, I think it's gonna be like less, how would I say it, less child friendly. There's gonna be
Okay.
more adult themes, maybe more teenage themes, um, and sure, maybe like Bubbles would probably be the one that I would feel would be most animated and be like the most similar to the cartoon. But from what I remember reading somewhere along the lines, like supposedly Bubbles got into some sort of like, um, I don't want to say like adult entertainment, but something along the lines with adult entertainment, and
Oh,
that
okay.
was her like, and I guess she wanted to escape it, and that's why she comes back. That's her motivation to come back with her sisters to try to save the day. I forgot what, I think Bubble, or not Bubbles, Buttercup, um, I think was like doing like some underground fighting or something, and then Blossom was like got into like being a scientist or something, and they just wanted to get out of it and come back. So again, because it's on the CW, I'm inclined to believe that it has more adult themes, right? Like we have jobs now, we have real world jobs. We need to pay rent. We need to pay this, and that. So how is it that we come back? How do we come back to stop the bad guys from doing what they do? And like, it's one of those things like, greater responsibility, or great power comes great responsibility. And I think they have to battle with that internally and externally. And I think the show is gonna be more adult because of it. But the pilot, I think, was a little too cartoony, and I think they wanted it to be like not so adult rated, and maybe a little bit more like realistic. So I don't expect a lot of like, I don't expect a lot of puns. I don't expect there to be like a lot of like crazy laughs, but maybe a little bit more serious in tone. And I think that's what they want for this reshoot.
Okay. I'm kind of excited to see what they bring to the table because like I'm thinking about it and like, are they gonna bring back Mojo Jojo?
Oh man, so they hold on. I'm about to tell you something that you may not be happy with.
Oh no,
Yeah, give me a second.
no Mojo.
Well, so they casted somebody who will be playing Mojo Jojo. His name is Nicholas Podany. Um, He joined the pilot in the role of Joseph Jojo Mondale Jr. As a kid, the nerdy, power-hungry, insecure Jojo was obsessed with the Powerpuff Girls, despite his father's grudge against them. As an adult, Jojo finds his sweetness and rage in constant battle. So Mojo Jojo will not be a monkey. He will be a person, a human of some sort. And
Wait, so is this a new character?
it's it's not a new character, but it's just not like it's not going to be like a CGI little monkey man. It's going to be a
That's what
fucking human, basically.
because
Yeah,
I thought they were gonna do some sort of Planet of the Apes CGI thing with what's
yeah,
that
that would have
guy,
been dope.
the actor?
That would have been dope.
Dang, that's kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
So based on your description, is this a new? Because it sounds like it's a new character who worship more Mojo Jojo, or is it like a retcon character that's kind of like Mojo, but it's a
So I
different
think
character?
they're retconning the fact that he was a chimp first, and that
Okay.
he was created as like a fourth human. Um,
Mhm.
because it's canon that that Professor Utonium, something with the chemical X, I think, got on the chimp assistant that then became Mojo Jojo, right? That's canon to the cartoon. So I think in here, I think it's something similar, but with a child versus with a chimpanzee. That's what it
Random, random,
sounds like.
random segue though. What if that chemical that got on Mojo Jojo was the same one that got on Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, oh no!
That's why.
What a twist! What a twist! Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, you know, I've always been a proponent of, like, let the content come out first. Let me view it, and I'll tell you what I think about it. As of right now, like, I'm on the fence on whether or not the show's gonna be good. Because it's on the CW, I do have a little bit of faith in it because the CW has produced some amazing shows: Smallville, Arrow, Flash, etc. So I'm curious to see how this episode or how the show's gonna come out. Based on everything I've read so far about all the stuff behind the scenes, I'm not like happy about it. But we'll wait. It could totally be awesome, and it could totally blow us out of the water. But right now, it's up in the air.
Did they tell you when it's gonna be released? Like a
Uh, no, I don't think they have a date yet. But they were aiming for. I think it was supposed to be for the fall. I have to
okay,
find that out. But it was. I think they were aiming for the fall. But I don't know if them reordering the pilot is going to change anything. So I don't know if that's going to delay production starting and all that stuff. So we'll have to wait and see.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you think their target audience is people that used to watch it on Cartoon Network, or a new audience where it's like, whoa? I mean, I watch stuff on CW and this looks kind of cool. I never heard of it. Like, what do you think their target audience
I
is?
think it's going to be a mix of both with
Okay.
more emphasis on like the next generation. I don't know if you know anything about the rebooted Charm show on CW. That was a reboot for like a new audience. So there are like some themes and stuff that they brought from like the original from that was canon to the original, but they changed a lot
Right.
of things to fit the new people. A lot of it's going to change with like the social things that are going on, like BLM, cancel culture, and all that kind of stuff. So that's going to play a role into the target audience. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I think it's going to be updated, but there's going to be a lot of stuff that goes back to like old school stuff. One thing I do want, like, I almost the demand that I want, right? Similar to how Rivendell introduced the Josie and the Pussycats, right? Because technically in the comics, it was all from the same people. Um, they have that interaction. I kind of want them to do something like that, but with Cartoon Network, right? Maybe a hint at Johnny Bravo, or maybe a hint at Dexter's Lab, or fucking Billy and Mandy. Like, not the current Cartoon Network stuff, but at the time that Powerpuff Girls came out, it came out, I
Right.
believe, at a time when Cartoon Network had that lineup of cartoons where it was just shorts. Some of those cartoons ended up becoming full-fledged like series on Cartoon Network. So I want that. I want that connectivity. I don't know if we'll get it. Maybe, definitely, maybe not the first season, but that's a demand that I want for the show.
Man, I think that'd be great if
Yeah.
they like showed little cameos of those characters in in that show, but like in real life. Like, how did I'm trying to see how Johnny Bravo will look like as a as a
You
live
probably
action.
get The Rock or something. Like, I don't know. The Rock isn't everything, man. Like, I'm not a Rock fan anymore, but like you hire somebody like The Rock or John Cena or just somebody like super buff that's like big in like wrestling, and then just have them with like a fucking Elvis style like blonde wig, and there you go. There's your Johnny Bravo.
Uh,
Hoo-ha!
it was a cool show, but then now we think about it, it's like, yo, this dude's kind of a freak.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
That's that whole show was sexual harassment, right, written all over it.
Yeah, dude. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if that show is gonna work nowadays. I don't know if you can introduce a
Yeah.
Johnny character nowadays. But if you guys can find a way to do it, I think it would be fun. But
Yep.
all right, guys. So that's it for the new segment of the podcast. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us. Again, I want a huge shout out to Richard here for being on the show. Guys, we go live every Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/TotallyAFan. If for whatever reason you can't catch the live stream, make sure that you look out for us on anchor.fm for the podcast. It goes up Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or wherever else you like to listen to podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, etc. If for whatever reason you can't catch either of those, the full episode does go live on YouTube with snippets of the news segments and stuff like that get sprinkled throughout the week. So definitely make sure you guys are checking us out there. And if you guys love the channel, if you guys love what we do here and you guys want to help support, on Twitch, you can subscribe absolutely for free using Amazon Prime. It doesn't cost anything to you, but it helps us out. We also have a merch store. But the biggest thing is community engagement, right? Hit us up on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagrams, all of that stuff at TotallyFan, and let's talk, let's converse, let's get into this stuff, man. Because who knows, you could be featured as a guest on the show one day. Like, you never know, right? We could do like some sort of giveaway and stuff like that. So the best way to get in contact is by that community engagement. So also consider joining the Discord too. All right, so now we're gonna switch gears. We're going to go into the more podcast, the relaxed version of the show, where we're just going to talk about whatever. If you're in the chat, feel free to let us know any comments that you guys want us to talk about. If you guys want us to deep dive into some of the subject matter, then please feel free to do so. It could be anything. We can get into controversial stuff. We can get into Star Wars versus Star Trek, Sega or Sony versus Xbox, whatever you guys want. Let us know in the comments down below. But Richard, before we started today's podcast, we were talking about the old school. We were talking about fucking Street Fighter and pizza. What
Yeah.
we were talking about the good old days, man. What was one thing you said you wanted to talk about something? We just went over so much information. I'm pretty sure your mind just got scrambled.
Well, now that you brought up pizza, I don't know if the viewers on here, if they're old enough to remember when Pizza Hut used to like give you PlayStation games.
Oh,
You
bro.
remember that? You remember that? Yo, I remember we
Dude.
order a large pizza, we get Final Fantasy demo.
Hell yeah, dude. Actually, my first interaction with Metal Gear Solid was on one of those discs, and it was on one of those demos, and it was crazy because I always got up to the part where you talk to the DARPA chief, who's like the guy in prison, and then he has a heart attack and he dies, and that's like within the first like 10 minutes of the game. I used to always, yeah, dude. I used to always try to like speed run it so that I could get to him faster to try to see like what happens beyond that. But I never got to do it. So as I got older,
Oh,
I ended up buying the OG Metal Gear on on PlayStation, and I can play it on my PS3, dude. Oh man, the like one of the bosses was like immediately after the dude has a heart attack in the fucking cell, and I was like, oh my god, I could have fought him if I just gotten there faster. Like, dude, it was so crazy. But yeah, dude, those old school demos were legendary.
you need to bring it back. I don't know if it was like a PlayStation or a Sony Pizza Hut partnership thing, but it was cool just to be like, order a pizza and I might get a game today. Like, that's something that they should bring back. Maybe with the Switch or something, but maybe that's a lot of money. But those are the days. It's just like they don't do that no more, man. Just like prizes in your cereal box. It used to be real cool, but then now it's just like here's a raffle or here's a QR code. Like, what? I want a toy. God damn it.
Yeah, dude, that's
But,
crazy. I remember those, man. I think they came out with like 9 or 10 different different demos. Some of them included playable stuff. Some included watchable, like watchable trailers or whatever. I remember those, man. Those things were freaking legendary. And then I think they did movies after that for a little bit too.
Think so, but
But
it clear.
freaking
It was,
nostalgia, dude. The nostalgia.
but
I got
I
introduced to
think
some really dope games through that.
wait, what was the main game that you? I know I've got duplicates, but what was the main game that you got when you ordered a pizza, or that's like your favorite? You're like, yes, I got this game.
Uh, damn, that's hard. I remember a lot of games. There was like Spyro, there was Tetris, there was a fighter game. I think it was called Fighting Force. I think was on there. There was
Fighting.
there was I think there was a version that had Twisted Metal. Um,
Mm,
I don't think I ever got the Final Fantasy one. The Metal Gear one I think was one I played the lot. There was one called Medieval. I think that was my first introduction to Medieval, and then they got a remake a couple like years ago.
huh?
That was pretty dope. But yeah, man, the shit that's old school, dude. That's God, the freaking memories.
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I think I got
Tony
that one.
Hawk, hell yeah.
Yeah, I think I
Oh
got
man,
that one.
Superman was my song, dude. I used to like I wouldn't play the level until that song was on the freaking map. But like the OG Tony Hawk, man. And it's funny too, because with the remake, the song is back on the remake. And same thing. I don't play the map until that song is on, because that's my shit
Yeah,
right there.
do my ollie. Yeah. Oh man, that was like Tony Hawk One. Like I don't even know what number it's on right now, and the graphics are like 10 times better. But
Yeah.
for some reason, I always remember that first one and that one stage with like I don't even know what's it called, but it's like the classic stage where like you like just break through the glass
Oh
and
yeah, the
start
first
going
one.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's like
remember
my
what it is. I'll find out
favorite.
for you. Let's see. Tony Hawk Pro
It's like a
Skater.
warehouse.
I
Look
think
like a
this. I think it's
warehouse.
what it's called. Yeah. I think it was the warehouse.
Yo, it's my favorite. Oh my god.
Uh, Yo, what's going on, WB Tech? Yeah, PowerPuffs are coming back. We talked about that. Yo, Titus Shot, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub for 17 months in a row. Appreciate it, my guy. Yo, Leo's here. I got Super Nintendo game from the bank. Either that or my dad lied to me. You got it from the bank? What game was it? Do you remember? And Dia, what's going on, my guy? The bank gave you a Nintendo game? That's funny. Oh, yeah, man. The friggin' those PlayStation demos were awesome. Uh, yeah,
What
dude.
else?
Yeah, what you got, man? What else?
I remember when we talked about uh Batman, and we were talking about how Thomas Wayne. Remember the Flashpoint paradox
Oh, yeah.
when it was the other Earth and Thomas Wayne was the Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and then his family died, or Bruce Wayne died, but he was a Batman of that
His
world.
dad, his
And I was
dad
saying
was
that he was more badass, and I was saying, yo, they should have their own show on that.
yeah.
I'm I'm still on that. They need to do that.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
its own like show.
you know about the movie, right?
Which one?
So the Flash movie is Michael Keaton is going to be reprising his Batman role from '89, and he's going to be Batman in the Flash movie. But the Flash movie is based on Flashpoint.
Oh, okay.
So it's not confirmed. It's still rumored, and I think the rumor comes from mainly speculation. But they want Negan, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, to reprise his role as Thomas Wayne, but be like the dark Batman that we see in the Flashpoint comics.
Hey,
So they can do it, man. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, it wouldn't be too far fetched, and I think he would be a great Thomas Wayne, man. Fucking Negan, dude, was so crazy when he came out on Walking Dead. I would love to see him play this role if they are gonna get him for Flashpoint.
so since you brought it up, Flashpoint, you said who was reprising the Batman? It was
So Michael Keaton, he plays Batman in like the OG like 1989
yeah.
Batman and Batman Returns with Catwoman.
So is he playing the canon like of the same world, but just like 30
Yes,
years
sir.
later? Like,
Yes,
like
sir.
he's an old guy?
Yes, sir.
So whoa, wait. So this is we're confirming that this is like traveling worlds. Like Flash is going through like a paradox
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah. So
Okay.
I think it was Ezra Miller, the guy who's playing the Flash, or I think it was a production studio person who confirmed that the movie was going to be based on Flashpoint. Obviously,
Oh,
for the movie verse, technically, if you look at it, right, the movies, the comics, the TV shows, the cartoons, everything, they are part of the DC multiverse. Um, the events that happen in the comics or in the TV shows don't always affect what's going to happen in the movies, and vice versa. But for Flashpoint, I don't know. I assume it's going to be like, a multiversal thing where he's going to maybe go to another universe, maybe not necessarily another timeline, where he's going to meet Michael Keaton's Batman older and more like beat up. But his Michael Keaton's agent confirmed that he is coming for the Flash, and that he will be reprising his Bruce Wayne Batman role from the original movie. Now, I don't know how what else you know, but I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. And for everybody in the fan cave, this might be news to you guys if you guys haven't been watching our live show. But it was rumored that WB wanted Michael Keaton to play not a leadership role, a mentor role in not just the Flash movie, but in other projects. There was rumors of a Batman Beyond series coming to HBO Max where they want Michael Keaton to play old man Bruce Wayne. There was a CW. Was it CW? No, I think it was the HBO Lantern where they wanted Bruce Wayne to show up on there. There was another thing too. So like that would have been huge. That would have been epic. All we know is he's coming back for the Flash movie. So to see him in those other properties would be dope. I also don't know if you know this, but on the CW, and you probably do because you said you watched the Arrow, the whole Infinite Crisis crossover event. The Flash, Grant Gustin's Barry Allen Flash meets Ezra Miller's Flash from the Justice League movie. They have that scene where they're like looking at each other. So I think it was Ezra Miller who said that event that happens on that crossover is going to affect him in his movie. He's going to change his costume. He's going to call himself the Flash instead of the Blur or whatever they called him in Justice League. And he's going to update his suit to match kind of more in line with what was happening on the TV show. So I think that's fucking awesome. The fact that you're going to pull from that fun Easter egg, you're going to make that shit canon into your universe. You're bringing back OG fucking Bruce Wayne. Like, dude, that's like... I think I love MCU. I love the MCU. I love Marvel, but I think that Flash movie's got me like the most hyped for any fucking like superhero movie.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Because so far, I'm not a big fan of like the Batman, Superman. Aquaman is all right. Wonder Woman, don't get me started.
You were disappointed by all of it?
I like the first one better than the second one.
Okay.
To be honest with
Okay, I agree with you.
I was more entertained by the first one, and I was excited to see the second one. I'm like, yo, they're gonna be shooting, down the street.
Yeah,
Blah,
back
blah,
home.
blah,
Yeah.
back home, and then it came out, and I was like, man, like as we spoke in the beginning, the lore.
Yeah.
It didn't flow with the lore that they built in the first movie, so I was disappointed. I never saw the first Justice League, so I went in fresh with Snyder Cut.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't a big fan.
Oh,
I
really?
went in fresh. I was like, this is the way it's supposed to be, so I'm gonna go in fresh. I didn't wanna watch the original and that, and then I would do is compare.
Yeah,
So
I
was
did.
like,
I
I'm
did
gonna
the
go in
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in fresh, so that way there's no excuses. And it was fairly long. They did break it into parts, but I feel like that was what ruined it for me because it would be like part 1, part 2, and I'm like, okay, I guess I can go to the bathroom now. But then when I came back, I was like, do I want to continue? Like, versus like me being like, oh man, I can't wait, because it was so long. So I hope that the Flash movie like picks it up because I'm guessing this is happening after the Justice League movie, right?
Yeah.
Time frame wise.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how, like, if it's a year or like 5 years later or if it's months later, but yeah, it's happening after the events of Justice League.
Okay, cool. So that means when he meets the CW Flash, it's happening in the Flash movie or like time frame wise, like it's happening. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. 'Cause I remember that.
Yeah, so like I enjoyed the Snyder Cut. I enjoyed Dawn of Justice, Batman versus Superman. I enjoyed those movies. I definitely think the Snyder Cut was better than the original than the Joss Whedon cut, but that's not really saying much because like there were just minor improvements. I think stories got fleshed out a little bit more, but I think a lot of time was wasted in terms of uh, just kind of really I guess the pacing was kind of the issue, right? Like you built a really great world, and I think there was potential for a lot of cool stuff to happen. But I think you were just there was too much exposition, too much storytelling that got in the way of like of just like events and action that just needed to happen. But to be honest, Zack Snyder for me is not like he's quickly losing my tolerance for him, right? Like 300 was okay. I thought 300 was like a fun movie. I didn't really expect it to be like a masterpiece. I ended up watching the second one like years later. I didn't watch it when it originally came out, and I didn't really care for the second one. The Watchmen I enjoyed, but I think cinematically I'm not a fan of Snyder's vision. I'm not a fan of the way he tells the stories. And he's just becoming like a director that I least enjoy, right? Like if he makes another DC movie, which he won't, but if he were to make another DC movie, I don't think I would go watch it. And if I do, I'd probably wait till like it comes out on Netflix or DVD or whatever. I think I don't think Whedon did a good job of Justice League, so keep that in mind. The only reason why I really was like excited about it was because Whedon was successful with Avengers, so I thought he would bring that same amount of love and passion to Justice League, and he didn't, and I don't know why. I don't know if it was the script's fault. I don't know what it was, but I enjoyed watching it at the time, but like it's not a movie that I'm gonna go out of my way to watch again for sure. When it comes to the
Yeah, so
Flashpoint, they're gonna have a really good director. I want to say it's Patty Jenkins who did Wonder Woman, but I'm not sure. I'm about to confirm for you right now.
do you know when it's coming out, the movie?
I believe we have dates, and I will share it. So its initial release should be for November 4th, 2022.
Okay, cool.
And I'm sorry, the director is not Patty Jenkins. It is Andres Muschietti. Let's see what that person has done. I will say that they casted a Supergirl for Flash that I'd be interested in seeing her take on it.
Okay.
But she is not going to be connected to like the Justice League Superman. I think they're going to base her on an alternate Supergirl that appeared in the comics. So she will be canon to the comics, but it's not going to be the same one that we were expecting.
Do you think she's gonna be canon to the world where Michael Keaton is from?
She could be. She could be.
Okay.
Supposedly Christopher Reeves, his Superman was supposed to be canon with Michael Keaton's Batman. There were really early talks about them doing like a crossover movie, but then I think at one point Christopher Reeves got really sick, and I think the talks then became rumors, and then the rumors just became like a memory that just never came out again. Then there was a Supergirl movie that got released after I think Superman 2 or 3. And that Supergirl was really that was a terrible movie to be honest. But that was supposedly supposed to be canon with the Christopher Reeves movie, and if things went okay, then it would have been canon to the Michael Keaton's Batman. But I think because that never happened, I think this Supergirl is a different Supergirl. Or it could be, in fact, connected to Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, guys, this is speculation, right? I have no evidence to base this on because any evidence that would have been real is lost in the wind. Is lost to time. So the director for Flashpoint he also directed It and It Chapter 2. He also did a movie called Mama, and then a couple other things for Argentina, like some novellas and other stuff. So he's a like I liked It 1 and 2 as far as like cinematically goes. Like so I'm okay with him directing this, and I'd be really excited to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, I think yeah, because I remember I didn't see it too, but it one was pretty good. So cinematic wise, I think it'll come out good.
Yeah, I think so
Um,
too.
Yeah. Well, right now in terms of DC though, the one movie I'm actually excited about was that new Suicide Squad movie.
Really?
That yeah, like
Oh man.
the the first one, like I was like, oh man, why are they doing a sequel? You know what I mean? But then James Gunn, and I was like, ooh, okay. And I saw the trailer, I was like, I'm in. Let's go.
You know what, James Gunn is a good director in my opinion. I am a little excited to see it. I wasn't a fan of the first one though. It just felt like a Will Smith show, and I lost confidence and I lost like, I don't know, I guess appreciation
Um,
for Will Smith when the whole situation with Independence Day and like two or three projects before that, where like he just was like he was becoming really arrogant and like super like fucking demanding. Like he wanted to do movies with him and his kid Jaden, who after like after the Karate Kid, I was like, you know, Jaden's okay. I think if he works on it, maybe, but he just never got better in my opinion. And then when Will
yeah,
Smith like either demanding more money or demanding that he works with his son, that his son gets casted in a movie, I was kind of like, dude, like he's not even that good of an actor. Like, why the fuck you doing this? So like supposedly his whole reason for not coming back for Independence Day 2 was because I think it was money. I think money was involved, and because of it, they didn't cast him for the second one. And it was around that time that I was like, dude, like fuck Will Smith, like dude, you're not even that great of an actor. Like you're fun, you're funny, and it's fun to watch you sometimes, but like you're not the fucking, you know, you're not an Oscar winning like actor in my opinion. You know, I don't think you can bring that to the table, and if you can, then bring it, but you haven't, and so you being demanding like you fucking are owed it, like that's, yeah, I started losing like interest in Will Smith so much so that like old Will Smith movies that I used to enjoy, I don't like them as much anymore. Like
like which one?
Wild Wild West, Men in Black. Like
Hmm.
I don't. I'm actually watching The Fresh Prince of Bel Air with my roommates, and it's fun, right? Because like that's when Will Smith was good, but like some of his movies, I don't know. It was that whole thing like kind of ruined it. It just left a sour taste in my mouth, and I can't really appreciate his content anymore.
Right. I think his movies did go downhill this like last few years. Like, I recently watched Gemini Man, and it was
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah, I
It
agree.
was just like I'm like, what? Like I went in knowing it was gonna be bad. I didn't expect it to be that bad, and I
Hmm.
was like surprised that he was a part of the project. And it was like the whole deep fake thing of like old him versus young him.
Yeah.
I mean, spoilers, you guys haven't seen it. Um, it was so like I've seen better deep fakes. Like I've seen better
Hmm.
Instagram filters than what they try to do with the young face him. And it was like so bad. I think the last good movie he did, in my opinion, was like I Am Legend. After that, I don't remember
Yeah.
anything that was.
Did you ever watch Bad Boys 3?
I did. It was all right. It was mediocre. You
Yeah.
know, it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like the best movie. It's not memorable. So if you tell me like, oh, what's your favorite scene? I'd be like, eh. I mean, I just remember watching it.
Yeah.
It's all right, but I did watch it. It, they try to make it to where like they're catching up with the times. It's been 20 years. They can't be bad boys forever because they're
Yeah.
old now. But yeah, I think yeah, I saw it. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
Nothing
Same.
special. You know what I mean?
So Leo says, to be fair, he has always been demanding even days. He got the old ant fired. Oh, from Fresh Prince. Yeah. So actually, if you watch the reunion, it goes deeper than him just getting her fired. It goes really deep and like really like sad. If you watch the reunion special that they did for Fresh Prince, um, it's a it kind of puts things in perspective a little bit because again it is deeper. It was deeper than Will just getting her fired, um, because they actually say what happened versus like all the rumors and speculation for why it happened. Um, but I you know, I guess to a certain degree maybe you're right, but either way, yeah, I didn't like the first Suicide Squad because like of how like prominent Will and Harley Quinn were in the movie. Not that I don't like Harley Quinn, but it just like the movie is about a team. You can't make a movie about a team and then prominently have like one person in the front. Like even the guy who was supposed to be the leader wasn't really in the forefront a lot.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah. So the second one, I think James Gunn. I think Gunn did it really well with Guardians, and I think he's going to do it really well with this one, where it is going to be a team-based movie, and it's going to feature the team equally. So I do believe it's going to be a better movie than the first one.
Mhm.
But I think the first one just left such a sour taste in my mouth. And then just everything going on with DC and their whole production, I think I'm just a little like a little on the fence. You know, I'm gonna watch it, and if it's good, then great, and if it's not good, then oh well.
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Like, I love DC, but I like more of their shows
Yeah.
versus their film. Their
Mm-hmm.
show, like W, or like if you watch the TV shows, like um, it's on HBO Max. If you haven't
Mm-hmm.
checked it out, Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
It's like super not safe for work. Like, have you seen Umbrella Academy?
I've seen a little bit of it. Yeah. Is
Okay,
it along the
so
lines?
it's like similar. Like when their shows are on, they had like a little minor beef online. Like, oh, you're copying us.
Uh, that's
It's
funny.
similar, but it's different at the same time because it's
Yeah.
like the premise of like a group of people that are like misfits. They're like supposed to be heroes but are not type deal.
Mm-hmm.
You should check out Doom Patrol if you have a chance. Um, for some reason, the DC shows always like hits it on the mark. I feel like they get a chance to develop their story and character
Mm-hmm.
versus like a movie, an hour and a half, 2 hours long. You're expected to like trust the flow and the character in that time frame, and I feel like it's never enough. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they're not doing a good job, in my opinion. Um, but hopefully, they pick up the slack and
Mm-hmm.
do better. But right now,
Yeah. I mean, as far as our movies go, like I'm not like I said. I think so. We know we're getting Aquaman 2. Wonder Woman, I think 3 isn't been confirmed yet. Um, they're making a new Superman movie with a black Superman. I'm not really excited for that just because I want to see more Henry Cavill. I think Henry Cavill has like more stories to be told. Um,
right,
but whatever. I don't really care for Shazam. I kind of liked the first one. I thought it was fun, but like it wasn't enough for me to be like 100% invested in it.
yeah,
So the sequel, like I'll probably watch the sequel, but like I'm not looking forward to it. I think the only DC movie I'm looking forward to is Flash. Um,
okay,
I do want to watch the Green Lantern show that's going to be on HBO Max because I'm a huge Lantern fan. And we know that the show is going to be based on Jon Stewart, but they did cast the Guy Gardner. I've always been a fan of Kyle Rayner. He's always been my favorite Lantern, so I would hope that he gets a spot on the show at some point. But I think most of all, I'm really excited for Flashpoint just because of the nostalgia factor from bringing Michael Keaton, the implication of like what happens in the crossover on the Arrowverse, how it affects his a decision that he will not a big decision, but it affects a decision he's going to make in the movie. I think that's awesome. I love stuff like that, and that's what's getting me really hyped about it. As far as their animation stuff goes, I think it's on point. Their animation stuff, like DC animation, um, they have really great stories, and I think their shit's always on point. I just think their movie verse, man. I know Jeff Johns is a prominent DC writer. He's actually one of my favorite writers. Jeff Johns is the Kevin Feige of the DCEU, but I think the problem is there's too many people that are dipping their hands in the cookie jar, and so we're not getting a full like piece of cookie, if that makes any sense, right? People digging their hands in there, cookies are gonna crack and break, and then when the piece that comes out, it's not the full piece that you want it to be, and I think that's the problem with DC, or with Warner Brothers, and I think I've always said it, and I still believe it, that DC has always been reactionary to what's happening instead of being proactive. Instead of creating a
yeah,
universe and creating the stories for how it's all going to be connected. Hey, this movie did really good. Let's make a sequel and see what happens. Hey, they said that they like this, so let's make the next movie about this with this character. Like, no, I think they were doing it wrong, and it was obvious that that's how they were playing it based on like how the news got leaked or confirmed. Like, oh
right,
yeah, during this one investor meeting, they said that sales were really good for this movie, so they greenlit this project. Like, what? No, you should have greenlit that project to begin with. So there's a lot more issues. There's a lot of deeper issues that go with DC and Warner Brothers. I'm curious if I don't know if you know, but the AT&T / Warner merger with Discovery, I don't know how or even if that's going to affect the slate of DC movies that are coming out. I really hope it doesn't because like I said, I'm really excited for the Flashpoint, and with everything that we've been confirmed so far, even some of the rumors, I'm really happy for, and I need it to happen.
Yeah, man. Hopefully the merger doesn't affect it. I don't think so. Um,
Yeah, it
no,
I
yeah,
don't think it would either, but you never know. Like, you never know with these things. They could always decide to pull the plug and restart from scratch, but who knows?
I mean, if they have to, as long as they restart and build on and make it good, and not restart and mess it up, it's a difference, you know. So,
Yeah.
with Flashpoint, that's always been one of my favorite cartoon like shows. So
Mhm.
hopefully they do it justice when they bring it to the live action or to the big screen. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Uh, well, between those animated shows, you got to pick one. Do you like Flashpoint Paradox better or Batman Under the Red Hood?
Fucking Richard and your goddamn this or that, dude. Okay, guys, if you, I'm friends with Richard on Facebook. Richard is always posting this or that or a pick one type of scenario, and some of them are bullshit. Some of them are fucking horrible. You can't make a decision because they're so good. Fucking
So which
Richard.
one is it? So which one is it? Flashpoint Paradox or Under the Red Hood? They're both really good.
They are. I love the whole concept of like Jason Todd, who died because fans hated him, comes back with an actual role that now everyone loves. But the concept of Flashpoint of just being able to go back in time and then seeing how that affects your future, your reality, they're both really great stories. I kind of want to give it to the Flash, just because that concept of going back in time to change, a traumatic or just to change anything in the back and how it could affect your future. I think a lot of people think about that, right? Whenever being asked, like, would you change anything back in times? A lot of people say no, but then in reality, like, they would. And for me, I would try harder in school. I would definitely try to devote more time to being a better artist. I would try to go out of my way to do more like martial arts and stuff. Like, one thing, like, people have regrets. Like, there are some people who live every day as if it was, a new opportunity, and good for them. But there are people that have regrets, and I do. I regret not going to gymnastics when I was younger because I thought it was for girls. But if I was doing gymnastics then, dude, can you imagine all the flip? I'd be flying all over the place. I'd be much more deeper into martial arts than what I am, and it'd be crazy. And I think the Flashpoint, I think it plays with that concept of changing something in your past to alter your future and how it's going to affect everything else. So I think Flashpoint is better in my opinion for that.
Well, based on the cartoon though, it was kind of very similar more to like the Avengers time travel
Mm-hmm.
style versus Back to the Future. Because remember how like in Endgame, it's like you go to the past, you change something in the past, you create a new branch of reality. You don't affect your time stream.
Right.
That's the same thing that happened in Flashpoint. It was like he went into another world
Mm-hmm.
where Bruce Wayne died versus like you know what I mean? Like so, but when if he changed that, he doesn't change his time stream. He just changes another world. So you think they're gonna keep true to that in the Flashpoint movie, where it's like, going to the past, you change a different reality, or do you think like going to the past, you step on an ant, you go back, and your house is gone? Like, do you think they're gonna be more true to the cartoon, or are they
I
gonna
I
be
think
more?
I think yeah. I mean, obviously, there's some things they won't be able to do in a movie format, right? Like, I don't know if they'll get into the whole Atlantis and the Amazons. I don't know how deep they'll get into the Dark Batman and the Joker. I don't know how deep they're going to get into all that stuff because they probably they're if they do it right, they'll only have like 2.5 hours maybe to play with. So there's a lot that's going to happen. The the core element to the Flashpoint story is that Barry goes back in time to save his mom from Zoom, or not Zoom, from Reverse Flash, from
Yeah.
Eobard Thawne. That is
Uh,
the core of Flashpoint. Is Barry's wanting to have his mom, wanting his dad to be free, him wanting that family core that affects everything else that happens in the world around him.
right.
So long as they stay true to that, everything else that happens is all going to be just icing on the cake.
That's true. They did a pretty good job with that though on the CW show.
Yeah, yeah, that was really good. I think that
Like
was what the first second season. I think it was pretty early.
it was like so good.
Yeah,
So hopefully, like they can make it that level or even better in the movie, if that's the case.
yeah,
Because I think they can do it. But like, I'm kind of excited because I'm big on like time travel stuff. You
yeah,
talk about time travel, I'm in it. I'm ready to go.
yeah,
So hopefully they do it right. Because like, there's so many time travel movies out there that kind of gets it right, sometimes gets it wrong. Hopefully they stay true to the comics or to the movie and not mess it up. Don't want no paradox. Well, I mean, no pun intended.
yeah.
But hopefully they do. Like, do you think like if they do the movie of the Flash movie with the Flashpoint, you think there's gonna be a sequel? Like, do you think there's gonna be loose ends, or is it all gonna be answered in the first Flash movie?
I think there will be some loose ends that they'll explore in other movies. It could be like, I don't know, maybe we know Aquaman 2 is in the works, right? So maybe something that happens when Barry tries to fix Flashpoint, maybe it adjusts something different in Aquaman. So I don't know how deep it's gonna go. Oh shit, I lost my screen. I don't know how deep it's gonna go. We lost Richard.
Oh,
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 you kid?
yeah. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. Well, I can't see your camera, but I see that you're back. There it is.
Got it.
Alrighty.
Sorry about
That's the benefit of going live, ladies and gentlemen.
that.
But yeah, so I think it could affect something like a maybe not a minor thing, but I think it could affect something like that. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Does anybody else in the chat? Do you guys have any other topics you want us to talk about? Anything you want us to take a deeper dive into? Any this or that type questions? A pick one out of three kind of things. Let me know, and we'll try to answer them as best we can. But I think we got time for one more discussion here. Let's see. You know what, Richard? I've been wanting to ask you about your Mortal Kombat opinion because I meant to do a review. The problem is finding the time to record it and to like properly edit it and all that stuff. I haven't been able to do that. But you did not like Mortal Kombat. I kind of want to dig a little bit deeper into it and find out kind of what your reasoning is, and then have a discussion about it maybe.
Okay. We talking about
The movie,
latest
yeah.
movie that came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I wasn't a fan because I feel like the story again. I feel like the first 10 minutes was great, but after that, everything just was not. Um, it didn't tie in. It didn't. There was no urgency. I didn't feel like the character's purpose was strong enough to build a story. And then the addition of the new guy, the Cole Young,
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he was just thrown in there for the purpose of like creating a new character.
Mm-hmm.
He had really no ties to the games. Um, well, spoilers, guys, if you haven't watched it. He was supposed to be somewhat related to Scorpion, and I think like his purpose wasn't really strong enough. And like you could dive in there. You can ask me specific questions, but I just feel like overall,
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't for me. It wasn't a strong enough movie for me to like enjoy.
Okay. So
Hmm.
I actually agree with your points. I did enjoy the movie, and I do recommend people watching it. I think it was fun, but I think there were expectations that I think I set myself up for failure. I wanted like a martial arts epic. I wanted beautifully clean choreographed fights, and I didn't get that. I wanted purpose behind the fights. We didn't get that. So I think when I did the original like no spoiler review on Instagram, I think I gave it like a 7.5. After watching it a couple times and like really like digesting it and really understanding it, I probably go down to a 6. I still enjoy it, and when it comes out on DVD or not DVD, when it comes out on Blu-ray, I'm gonna buy it to add it to my collection. But I think the biggest thing that hurt the movie was the lack of story, right? And what I mean is, Mortal Kombat has such a rich, fulfilling, diverse cast of characters that have their own unique stories that to some form or another all intermingle and twine in with each other, right? And I think that they failed to establish that by having cannon fodder for characters. Melina,
Yep.
Nitara, Raiko. Um, I feel like those characters, Melina especially, Melina has a rich backstory. Her tie-in with Katana, her future in the games. I think by them killing her off so early in the movie, or not early in the movie, but like early in the franchise, I think was a huge blow to the fans. I love the cast. Louis Tan, who plays Cole Young, I've been following him for a long while. I love him. I think he's a phenomenal martial artist. I think he's a pretty decent actor. He's been in the game for a long time. Joe Taslim, who plays Sub Zero from freaking The Raid, he's a phenomenal martial artist. He's fun. He works really hard. I know a little bit of Max Huang, who plays Kung Lao. I was really like surprised by Kung Lao in this movie. Ludi Lin, who plays Liu Kang. Um, Hiroyuki Sanada, who plays Scorpion. Like the cast is great. I think they picked a really great cast. Even the characters for Jack, Sonya, and them. I think they were pretty decent casting. But I think the martial arts not being on point, I think, was a huge blow to the movie. But I think the emphasis on Cole's character, the hero's journey, right, of this guy who has an issue, who needs to find himself, who ends up finding himself, and then defeats a villain to get to the end. I think that was a waste of time for the Mortal Kombat movie because of the backstory, because of the connectivity between all the characters and all the worlds. I think it was, I think that's what hurt Mortal Kombat ultimately, was the hero's journey. I think there was a way you could have done Cole. I think there was a way that they could have had him in the movie, be that connecting character for the new audience, um, be that like that I guess icon, right, for you to put yourself in those shoes or whatever. I think there's a way they could have done it where it doesn't interfere with the world of Mortal Kombat. Other things that bother me too were just like some like personal aspects, right? Like Shang Tsung, I wasn't a fan of the actor is a great actor, but I wasn't a fan of his portrayal. Shang Tsung, while he is the emperor, or while he is like he has a status, he's also a fighter. He
Yeah.
didn't look like a fighter in this movie. Like he's not just like some evil king who demands his minions to do his bidding. No, he fucking gets his hands dirty. So much so that Liu Kang ends up killing him at one point before he like comes back and all that stuff. I think Outworld was like a huge letdown. I think if they brought in elements from like the original Mortal Kombat movie and like how they go into Outworld and what Outworld looks like in that universe, I think if they had brought those same themes into visually what we know Outworld to be in this movie, I think would have been better. The connection between Cole Young and Scorpion, I didn't like. I thought that was stupid. I thought it was pointless. The Arcana aspect, how everyone has their powers, I think was interesting in how they explain powers in this universe, but I don't think was needed because this is a movie where its own universe, where the realms, the different planes of existence are all connected to some form or another, right? Like if you die, you go to Nether realm, but you can come back to life. Like you're not dead forever. You can come back. Um, and all these other like multiverses, basically. I think there was a way to do all of that, and Arcana, I think, was an interesting take on it, but I don't think was really necessary. I don't think it hurt the movie, but I don't think it helped it either, really. Um, but the biggest thing is that Mortal Kombat, first and foremost, is a tournament. And while you talked about it as if it was a tournament, when the fuck did the tournament ever start?
It never never started. There was no
No,
tournament.
it was basically a movie, like an hour movie of Shang Tsung basically cheating. He was killing all the fighters before the tournament even started. This doesn't count as a tournament victory for Earthrealm. It doesn't count as a loss. Like, so I thought all of that. I thought that, you know, that biggest thing, right? The tournament not being a tournament and us focusing on the hero's journey, I think were the two biggest things that hurt Mortal Kombat and what dropped it in the ratings for me. But I still enjoyed the movie. I think it was a little over the top in the great way. I did like how Cole Young killed Goro. I thought that was awesome. Some of the fatalities were like freaking vicious. I thought it was fun. But there just was a lot of things that that ended up hurting the movie more than helped it. And so I'm excited for a second one because I did enjoy it. But they need to bring it up. They need to step up their game. They need to be a 2.5 hour movie. They have plenty of content that they can bring to the table to build upon the world building, which is something that you and I both love. I think you need to do that. And I think the martial arts needs to be higher. Obviously, certain actors, they're not trained in martial arts, so they can't do certain moves. So when it comes to editing movements and choreography, I get it. But then why hire those actors, right? Like, just because you can act, like, that's great. But there are martial artists. There are people that do tricks, that do stunts, who they can act. Put them in those roles. With the rumor casting of Johnny Cage, right? Everybody's saying they want the Miz from WWE. Some people said they want Jean-Claude Van Damme, who Johnny Cage is based off of. There was another one, I don't remember who it was, who they want to be Johnny Cage. I don't agree with any of those casting choices. While the Miz, I think, has the charisma, I don't think has the martial arts chops.
Right.
While Jean-Claude Van Damme does have the martial arts chops, I think he also had the charisma. He doesn't have it anymore. I think he's older now. I think it's going to be much more difficult for him to do the Johnny Cage things. And I think they should get somebody newer, somebody fresh, who can act, but who can also bring the martial arts. Because that fight scene between Sonya and Melina was garbage. The fight between her and Kano was kind of garbage, just because all the edits and all the cuts. So I think those are the three things you need to fix, right? If you're going to make the sequel good and you're going to make it awesome, up the martial arts, up the story of the world that you have, like the content of the world that you have, bring that to the movie. And then don't focus on Cole Young. Don't focus on the hero's journey or whatever. Focus on everyone as a whole, because each individual character has their own part to play into the events that unfold in the Mortal Kombat universe. So I think if you focus on those three things in the next movie, you will bring you will please the fans more, but also please the new coming audience into like, yo, that was dope as shit. That was an awesome martial arts movie. I've never seen anything like it. The story was really cool. I could follow it because I know what's happening. All that stuff. I think if they fix those three elements, the next movie is going to be phenomenal.
Hope so.
That's my
Yeah,
rant.
because this one. Yes. No, I'm with you on that one. I think the main thing too, I think we left out was the retconning of the Scorpion and Sub-Zero story.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like completely changed it from the beginning, and I was kind of disappointed on that. Like where Quan Chi at? Where's Shinnok? You know what I mean?
So they hinted at Shinnok, right, with the medallion, but I think the Quan Chi thing is gonna get explained in the second one. But I agree with you. I think I would have liked to have seen a tease of Quan Chi in the movie. I think I would have liked that. I think that would have been nice, a nice little sprinkle of like, ooh, something's on the way kind of thing,
Yeah, because I was like, the whole time I was like, wait, Sub-Zero didn't do it? He was frames. Like they set this whole thing up, and then like the story progressed, and I was like, oh, okay, now he's bad. Oh, he's like working for Shang Tsung. What's going on? Like It was like so completely different. So that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
The thing with Cole Young, like I know it's a new character, but they could have like flipped it. They could have made him like so much cooler and more interesting to where like you were like, I want to see him in the next game.
Yeah.
Put his ass on the next game.
Yeah,
But,
I agree. 100%. I agree.
but I was kind of like, yo, he was a waste of space. Like, why would you put him in there and make like Liu Kang the background. Like the one thing that really, now I'm thinking about it, that kind of irked me was how convenient the characters found each other. Like, I was kind of like, why are they just finding each other so easily? Like when
Hmm.
they got to the desert, I'm like, come on now.
Yeah.
You tell me Liu King just chilling in the desert and he
Yeah.
found you. Like, when they got to that point, I'm just like, oh God, like I'm
Hmm.
done. And I was so hype about the movie. I was actually like excited to see the movie. I was like,
Yeah.
yo, more to combat. But then when it came, I was like, man, they just waste. That was a waste of time. So hopefully if they do a sequel, they up the story. And you're right, up the choreography. Like, yo, if your actors can't do all the stunts, get a great choreographed team to put it together. Because I guess we grew up, Jackie Chan movies and
Yeah.
stuff. You kind of that
We're
fast pace.
spoiled. Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, but it's also that's the cinema that we're living in now. Like
Yeah.
it took a while for the U.S. to catch up, with their like Matrixes and their X-Men's. Took a while, but we're there now. So now if you're not gonna be at that par in a Mortal Kombat movie that's
Yeah.
based on a martial arts tournament, might as not might as well not make it at all.
Yeah.
Because then it's like I could just play the game and get more entertainment versus like watching this half-ass like choreograph. I could see better fighting in like an old movie from like 20 years ago or something like that. So hopefully, man, like they up the ante on the action, connect the characters and story more, and hopefully choose a great character for Johnny Cage. I I hope it's like a new guy, new face,
Yeah.
young talent that we don't know,
Yeah.
and just like blow us away. But like, damn, I like you want to look. I'm gonna see his Wikipedia. What the hell was he doing before this? Like, I want to be like that. So hopefully they find someone good.
Yeah. And it's funny because you brought up an interesting point about like wanting to play Cole Young in the game had he been good enough. It's funny because Max Huang, who plays Kung Lao, I'm not a big Kung Lao fan. I'm a Sub-Zero fan like through and through, but I kind of want to play Kung Lao now because Max Huang fucking killed it. Like that was so fun. It was so like cool to see him. Like his portrayal, I think was dope. I want to play Kung Lao in the game now just to like try him out a little bit more, give him a little more attention. And I agree. I don't care if Cole Young comes out in the game. I kind of care if they have it look like Lewis Tan. Again, I'm a fan of Lewis Tan. He's one of like my like martial art idols right now. But the character wasn't enticing enough, and I think that's a valid point. And I think that's again, the time that was wasted elaborating on his backstory. I think was wasted.
Uh-huh.
But Lewis Tan did a great job. It's just the writing that focused too much on Cole Young and his journey. I think was what hurt the movie. So I'm with you on
Did
that one,
you
man.
did you know that Lewis Tan was in Deadpool too?
Yeah, he plays fuck, I forgot his name. Fuck, I forgot his name. How did I forget his name? He's the
He
guy
was
with
like
the
a weird
swords and the long
character.
hair with the white thing from Planet
Yo,
Mojo. I just forgot his name.
it's like it was Sh- Shatterstar.
Yeah,
Am I
Shatterstar, I
right?
think is his name. Yeah.
Shatterstar.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
also in Into the Badlands. He plays a prominent role in Into the Badlands in the later seasons. He was in
Okay.
Iron Fist. He was the drunken fighter in Iron Fist.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, and I think it was the first season. And he's also a prominent role on the Netflix show Wu Assassins, and they're getting a season 2 coming soon. With I don't know how to pronounce the dude's last name, but his first name is Iko. He was also, I think, in the Raid. He's also a prominent Thai martial artist as well.
Mm.
So look, man, Lewis Tan, he's a great actor, great martial artist. His background is mainly in fighting, so any martial arts that he brings to the table is gonna look clean. So it's nothing against him personally. It's just against the character of Cole and how the story centered around him too much. That's my issue with Mortal Kombat.
With you, man. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for this fun, packed episode. Richard, again, thank you, man, so much for coming out today. It was a fun ride, and I'm definitely, hopefully we can do this again sometime in the future. We'll definitely keep you posted. But guys, that's going to be it for Totally Fan. Again, as a reminder, you can catch the live stream every Saturday, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, twitch.tv/TotallyFanTAF. If for whatever reason you can't catch the live stream on Twitch, Anchor.fm/TotallyFan is where you can listen to the podcast, or wherever else you like to listen to them. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, etc. If for whatever reason you can't catch either one, on Wednesday the full episode goes up on YouTube, but clips get sprinkled throughout the week. So make sure you guys are checking out with that stuff. If you guys love what we do, you want to help support, you can subscribe absolutely for free using Amazon Prime on Twitch. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to the YouTube, the Anchor.fm/TotallyAFan, social media at TotallyAFan, all that stuff. Help spread the word. Let's get more involved. Let's get more people talking about nerd stuff, and we can have that stuff on the show. We could talk about it and cater it to what you guys want. Also, we have a merch store too. The official fan cave is TotallyFan.threadless.com. You guys can get merch and stuff there. We have some cool stuff coming on the way that's in the works. But yeah, on behalf of Mr. Richard Poor, again, check him out on Kickback and Chillax podcast, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Follow him on Instagram. It's Ayo Richard, right?
Yeah, Ayo Richard _official.
Official on Instagram. This guy is fucking awesome. He's funny. Really great as far as like when it comes to nerd stuff. He's balls deep in there, man. Let me tell you. He's a cool cat. Make sure you guys check him out. But on behalf of everybody here at the Fan Cave, thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to come hang out with us. We'll catch you on the next one. But until then, as always, thank you so much for coming.